The Little Match Girl. Snow drifted silently over the dim city streets on New Year's Eve. Lamps flickered weakly through the growing storm, and hurried footsteps pressed into the frost-covered cobblestones. Among these shadows walked a small girl, thin as a winter twig, her blonde hair dusted with snowflakes. She wore no hat, no scarf, and only a pair of worn slippers far too big for her feet, slippers that once belonged to her mother. But now, even those were gone. One had been snatched by a passing cart, and the other slipped into the hands of a laughing boy who ran away with it. So she walked barefoot in the freezing cold, her toes red and stiff. In her trembling hands, she held a bundle of matches tied with a piece of string. They were all she had to sell. Her father expected her to return home only after she sold enough. But the day had passed, and not a single match had been bought. People rushed past her without seeing her, thinking only of their warm homes and glowing hearths. Every time she tried to speak, her voice came out as a whisper swallowed by the wind. "Matches, sir? Please? Just one?" she murmured to a gentleman passing by. He didn't hear her, or chose not to. As the evening deepened, golden lights appeared in the windows of the houses around her. She paused in front of one tall building where a family was gathered around a dazzling Christmas tree. She could hear laughter and smell roasted goose drifting faintly through the cracks of the closed window. The girl pressed her hand against the cold glass, her breath forming a fragile cloud. "How warm it must be inside," she whispered. Her stomach growled painfully. She hadn't eaten since the previous morning. Still, she had to keep selling. She approached a couple, walking arm in arm. "Would you like to buy some matches?" she asked, forcing a smile. The woman looked at her with pity, but the man pulled his wife gently away. "Come, darling, we'll be late." The girl lowered her gaze. "I'm invisible," she said softly to herself. The cold pressed deeper into her bones. Snow clung to her hair and eyelashes, and her fingers grew numb, making it harder to hold the matches. She walked slowly toward a stone wall at the corner of the street and sat down, curling her legs under her thin dress. She knew she should go home, but she also knew what awaited her there: her father's anger, the scolding, the wooden stick. She closed her eyes, wishing for warmth. A thought sparked inside her. "One match, just one, to warm my hands. Father doesn't have to know." With great care, she struck the match against the wall. A tiny flame burst to life, glowing like a golden flower. The heat touched her fingertips, and she smiled. "Oh, it's beautiful," she breathed. But the flame did more than warm her hands. It brought her visions. Before her eyes, the cold street transformed into a cozy room. A great iron stove stood in front of her, glowing with dancing flames. She stretched her hands toward it, feeling the warm air embrace her like a gentle hug. "Is this real?" she whispered. But the match burned out, and the stove disappeared, leaving her once again in darkness. Shivering, she lit another match. This time, the wall in front of her turned into a grand dining room. A roasted goose walked across a silver platter before her, almost as though it had come to life. It waddled closer and closer until, "Little one," came a gentle voice. The vision faded. In its place stood her grandmother, lovely and kind, her face bathed in soft light. She had passed away years ago, but to the girl, she was the only person who had ever given her warmth and love. "Grandmother," the girl whispered, her voice cracking. "Oh, my sweet child," said the grandmother, reaching out, "you are trembling." But the flame went out again, and darkness swallowed everything. "No, come back," the girl sobbed. She lit another match. The grandmother appeared again, smiling tenderly. "My dear, you must not stay here in the cold," she said. "Please don't leave me," the girl said, clutching her bundle of matches. "I'm here," whispered the grandmother, though her outline flickered like a candle flame. She quickly lit the entire bundle, desperate to keep her grandmother near. The light illuminated the whole alleyway. Snowflakes shimmered like silver sparks, and warmth spread through her body. For the first time that night, the girl felt safe. Her grandmother knelt in front of her. "Hold my hands," she said softly. The girl reached out, tears freezing on her cheeks. "Grandmother, will everything be all right?" "Yes, my child," whispered the old woman. "Everything is going to change." Suddenly, the flickering visions began to blend with real shapes. Footsteps crunched in the snow nearby. The light from the burning matches drew attention. A woman passing by stopped abruptly and gasped. "Oh, heavens! A child! What are you doing here alone?" she exclaimed. The girl blanked, startled. The matches burned brightly in her hands, and her grandmother's warm smile still lingered like a shadow behind the light. I was cold," she answered faintly. The woman knelt beside her. "You poor thing! Come with me." The girl hesitated and looked toward her grandmother's fading figure. The grandmother nodded gently. "Go, my child. This time someone has seen you." The matches finally burned out, and the grandmother disappeared like a soft glow drifting into the night. But now the girl was no longer alone. The woman scooped her up into her arms, wrapping her in a thick shawl. "Let's get you warm," she murmured. "I'll take you home." The girl's voice trembled. "Do you have a warm stove?" "Yes." "And food?" "As much as you need." The little girl leaned into her embrace. "Then, thank you." The woman and her husband listened to her story with wide, troubled eyes. "You poor child," said the husband softly. "No one should suffer like this." The woman touched the girl's shoulder gently. "You will stay here with us." The girl looked up, startled. "Stay here?" "If you want to," the woman replied. "You'll have your own bed, warm clothes, food, and no one will hurt you." Tears filled her eyes, this time not from cold. I would like that very much," she whispered. In the following days, the couple prepared everything she needed: a soft bed with thick blankets, sturdy shoes, a wool coat, and mittens warm enough to make winter feel gentle. They even gave her a name, Lena, since she had never been given one she liked. The girl's days filled with warmth and learning. She helped the woman bake bread, fed the birds outside the window, and played with other children in the neighborhood. Her laughter, once frozen inside her, now rang like bells. One snowy morning, as she looked out the window, a soft glow surrounded the falling snowflakes. In that glow, she thought she saw a familiar face, her grandmother, smiling proudly. "Thank you," she whispered. The grandmother's image shimmered and faded, leaving behind a peaceful silence. Lena pressed her hands to the warm glass of the window. "I'm safe now," she said softly, "and I'll never be cold again." And she never was. Don't forget to subscribe. See you later.
Little girl in winter snow, walking where the cold winds blow, holding matches in her hand, dreaming warm her dreams come true tonight. Warm her hands and warm her sight. Guide her through the frosty night. Shine, oh shine, my little light. Make her dreams come true tonight. See the stove with soft warm glow, shining bright on winter snow. See her grandma stand so near, smiling warm and bright and clear.